So, all right, Pam, we're going to let you go for now.
All right, love you guys.
Love you too.
Love you too. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. Well, that was pretty emotional. What's it like to hear your wife tell that story?
It rips my fucking heart out, dude. We've been married for 35 years. We dated for 2 years before we were married. We know each other. That's my best friend. And that guy talked to her like she was white trash that was beneath him. And I'll never forgive him for that.
That's tough to listen to, man.
Yeah.
I mean, to be treated like that, 14 years in the military, a Green Beret, a SEER instructor in the Air Force, then how many years did you do at the agency?
8 years, 21 trips.
8 years at the agency, 21 trips.
21 trips.
Fuck, I think you have me beat. But 21 trips with the agency, they mistake your record for a fucking criminal's record. They don't correct it. And the next thing you know, and if I'm mistaken, correct me, but this goes to the news.
Yeah, that's really one of the disturbing things that happened was, first of all, they misidentified who I was and what my background is. I mean, because when you pull in whatever their computer system is that they look at it, it should have had nothing next to me. Maybe a speeding ticket, you know. But the sheriff, who coincidentally had just been sworn in 1 week to the day before this went down, within moments of this happening, he went on TV and he's basically talking all this interpretation of what he thought happened, even though, one, obviously he wasn't there, two, he didn't have any statement or information from me, and three, he thought I was a career criminal.
So the sheriff went on public television?
Yes.
And mistakenly ruined your name by giving somebody a criminal's rap sheet, saying that it's your rap sheet.
No, he did not. Okay, that's incorrect. He did not say that I was a criminal. He believed I was a criminal, went on TV and exonerated the person who had attacked me. Wow. And then didn't say I was guilty, but left the only thing, you know, so he went on TV. He didn't say I was a criminal. He went on believing I was a criminal. And then he said things that in his mind and in the viewing audience's mind exonerated the person who had attacked me, which left the only conclusion in their minds to be that I was the attacker. And it's literally 180 degrees off.
So did they apologize for doing that?
Well, the sheriff, whose name is literally just decided to keep moving forward.
Holy shit.
Because I didn't even come in until over 2 weeks after it happened, where I was healthy enough to give a statement. And when I got there, all they wanted to do was throw handcuffs on me and put me under the jail somewhere. They didn't listen to anything we said. They heard it, but they weren't listening. In fact, the guy even said to me at one point in time, because I had an attorney with me, I'm not an idiot. He said to me at one time, "You ready to change your story yet?" And I said, if I changed my story, I'd have to lie. I'm telling you the truth. So anyways.
Holy shit.
They're an interesting group. And coincidentally, you know, obviously in the aftermath of that, we started doing a little research about what's going on here. You know, how could they be so off in their conclusions when they hadn't even conducted an investigation, but yet they ran with it as though everything was clear cut? Well, then we find the previous New Year's Eve, the same sheriff's department had pulled over a couple for allegedly having too dark of tint on their car windows. Turned out it wasn't too dark. So since they're there, they decided to search the car. There's nothing in the car. But there's a bag of cotton candy, which they identified as methamphetamine, and arrested the woman for some reason, I guess she probably said it was mine. I don't know. I don't know all the ins and outs of it. But they arrested her for a bag of cotton candy and then held her in jail for 3 months until the Georgia Bureau of Investigation did a test on it and said, yeah, it's cotton candy, guys. Then they held her for 3 more days before they let her go.
This is the exact same
sheriff's department. And as a matter of fact,
so there's a history of this shit.
Yeah, when you Google it, the same investigator's name comes up on the news reports. So I don't know what the connection is between them, but you know, it's starting to look like maybe there's something going on there. And then,
are these articles online? Can I link these?
Yeah, please do. Link them all. All you got to do is Google Georgia woman arrested for cotton candy. You'll see the dash cam, you'll read the whole story, and you'll see the name of the investigator, who also was the investigator on my case, when mysteriously my background check comes back as a career criminal instead of somebody who's never been in trouble and had a top secret security clearance.
Are there any more examples of...
There's some disturbing things that continue to come out of that department. So 4 months before I was shot, in August, one of their deputies gets busted because a Fox 5 I-Team investigator gets a recording from a woman where a Monroe County Sheriff's deputy had arrested her for DUI and drug charges and then called her a couple of days later, apparently, or allegedly, whatever, and picked her up in his personal pickup truck, drove her into the woods, and told her, because this is on the recording and you can hear this, that he would go to the DA and work something out on her charges if he just, you know, give me a little blowjob, we'll take care of it right now.
You got to be shitting me. And this is a recording that you can pull up and listen to?
Yep.
Holy shit.
Yep. And then after that, after my incident, which was 4 months later, the next thing that happens, which just happened in December, at the end of December, another one of their deputies, while wearing insignia, and this is on the Monroe County Sheriff's Department Facebook page, you can read it right there, while wearing Monroe County Sheriff's Department insignia, identifying himself as a deputy, gets busted in a neighboring county's drug sting.
Wow.
So he's been arrested, charged, fired, just like the previous guy.
Well, then, me and you came here a couple days ago. We actually tried the podcast. Your TBI, traumatic brain injury, got the best of you. We had to take a break. And
we find the article.
I Googled him.
Yep.
What's the first thing that came up?
That they had just killed the guy while they were booking him into the jail.
So there's a lot of history.
Well, cotton candy, blowjob cop, this freaking military and CIA professional is a career criminal, the buying drugs while wearing insignia, identifying him as a cop, and now they just killed the guy while they were booking him into jail over an altercation is what it says. I don't know the specifics.
And nobody's looking into your stuff yet, other than your attorney and a couple of friends like me and some other people that we know. I'm so sorry that you're having to go through this. I mean, I know that you had to sell your house, you sold your motorcycle, you sold your truck, you sold just about everything just to be able to pay for an attorney to prove that you're innocent. I mean, and you moved out of Georgia to Florida, your home state. How long have you lived in Georgia?
Almost 25 years.
25 fucking years you lived there, called it home, and now you have to leave because you feel threatened by a fucking sheriff's department?
Yep. Very true.
That's fucking disgusting. Just to put things in perspective here, you asked me to write a letter.
Yes.
How many letters from agency personnel, military personnel, special operations, I mean, people who hold integrity to them in the highest regards, how many letters did you get?
I got them from everybody I asked. Not only did they write them, but they were like, I'll expose my cover and testify for you, because there's no way they got this right. I've seen you in action. I've seen you show tremendous restraint. There's no fucking way what they're saying happened. What do you need me to do? I'm there for you.
Did that have any effect at all?
It'll probably hold some sway over the jury if it gets to that point, which it looks like it will, quite frankly. But the sheriff's department doesn't give a shit. They made up their mind early on and ran with it.
Why the fuck do you think they're doing this to you?
Dude, I don't know. I can only speculate. But it is interesting to know that the incidences that we just mentioned, they didn't unearth any of those. Every one of them was brought to their attention by an outside agency or by a news crew or outside individuals. So they don't seem to be real big on looking deeply into things concerning them, but they're all over anything that they can really just hammer the shit out of people for if they feel justified in doing so. They're not public servants. They are more, it feels like they're even at war with the people that they should be protecting.
Well, let's talk a little bit about how you're dealing, how's your health? And I know being shot in the head has changed.
Yeah.
It's changed a lot of pretty much everything about your life. And I mean, we can't even get through.
Yeah.
We tried 2 or 3 different times to make this podcast, and the brain injury just gets in the way every time. You get dizzy.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about how this has changed your daily life and your wife and your son and your daughter? And
yeah, well, first off, it's very, very traumatic and has been damaging to Pam. Pam is the strongest person. She's been with me through the entire military career, all the deployments, all the CIA time. She found out later that I'd been blown up, and obviously she was very concerned about that, but she handled everything like a trooper. Strong woman. This has destroyed her. I mean, she has panic attacks. She's on medication to keep calm because when she starts thinking about it, well, you heard her on the phone. Her voice just shakes uncontrollably. She has a hard time even saying the words because it's just so overwhelming to her. As far as me, yeah, I'm fucked up, bro. I mean, I got shot in the head.
yeah.
So I've got residual issues. I have permanent balance issues, as you've seen. And sometimes the dizziness overwhelms me. It can even sweep me off my feet if I'm standing up, so I have to be careful. Helps a lot if I got my elbows on things because it's like my internal gyroscope's no longer working correctly. It does for short bursts, but then in the long term it just starts going crazy and I get really dizzy really fast, start stumbling. A lot of times I just have to lay down. So, like you mentioned, we tried to do this a couple of times and I just start falling out because I fade. And when I fade, I can't get the words that are in my mind to come out of my mouth so that I can make comprehensive sentences and statements. So it's interesting, it's difficult, but...
what are the doctors saying? I mean, is there going to be improvement? Do they know?
So they don't really know. They told Pam from the beginning, expect a new norm. He's not going to be the same, possibly ever. He may get a little bit better. He may not get any better. I have gotten a little bit better, thank God. But it could take the rest of my life to get any better than I am right now, or I may not get any better at all. Or who knows, it could get better a little bit every year. Nobody knows. Like I mentioned before, I got bullet shrapnel, sharp shards of metal sitting on the artery that feeds the entire right hemisphere of my brain. So if I do have a seizure, I'm done.
Or if you
get hit in the
fall
head.
the wrong way.
Yeah, if I fall because I get dizzy,
It's
bump
over.
my head, it's probably over, So.
Then you have all the stress from the lawsuit. So,
Well, it's not a lawsuit. It's a criminal prosecution that they're running against me.
so they're prosecuting you. You just got done with the discovery phase, correct?
Correct.
If you're found guilty, which I'm praying